Hi everybody, welcome to AITV. We're broadcasting live from AI Expo Africa 2022. This is day 2 of the conference, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome Fred Werner from the UNITU. Fred, welcome to the show. Welcome back to face-to-face events.
Yeah, thanks Nick. Great to be here, and first of all, congratulations for hosting and having the courage to put on a face-to-face event. I know it wasn't easy, but you can see by the people in the exhibits that people are really happy to be back together, and for me it's a privilege to be here, so thanks again.
Yeah, we've had a great buzz from the floor. Definitely face-to-face events are back, and we're all shaking hands again, so that's great. Well, Fred, tell us a little bit about AI4Good. I mean, the UNITU champions AI4Good, which you run the global summit for, and we're focused on UN Sustainable Development Goals. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So AI4Good, it was basically built on the premise that we have less than 10 years to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and AI holds great promise to advance many of those goals and targets. So anything from solving climate change or food supply, providing better healthcare, education, gender equity, autonomous driving, smart cities. We have so many use cases that come across our desk every day. And AI4Good, simply put, the goal is to identify practical applications of AI that exist today that can advance the Sustainable Development Goals and figure out how to scale these solutions for global impact.
Now, we met in 2019 at the Global Summit, which is held in Geneva, for those that don't know about it. But then you had to pivot like us, you had to go online, but that actually resulted in you creating a whole new ecosystem. Do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, the saying that never let a good crisis go to waste,
Yeah.
right? So as hard as it was, we had to cancel our summit, as did you. And then we thought, instead of waiting for blue skies, which no one had any idea how long the pandemic would last, let's just go online. So we had more than 300 speakers lined up for the physical summit, and we just started putting them online one by one. And we found that, as difficult as that was, it had a lot of benefits in terms of being more inclusive. All of a sudden, people didn't have to get an expensive plane ticket to fly to Geneva. And we went from, basically an audience of about 2,500 at a physical summit to reaching over 300,000 people online.
Wow, that's a big number.
From 183 countries. So that's almost all the countries in the world. And more importantly, especially for AI Africa, is developing country participation more than doubled.
Yeah.
And that was a really big uptake in participation from Africa. And of course, gender balance increased as well, from about 35%, which at the time we thought was quite okay,
Still a good number, yeah.
to about 45%. So virtually almost every touch point of what we're trying to do in terms of being the most global, neutral, inclusive AI4Good platform in the world was, basically enhanced by going online.
What's the name of that platform?
Yeah, so basically we started very low tech. It's just doing Zoom calls, but we thought, what a pity. All these people are connecting every week for maybe an hour and a half, and then they never meet again. So we actually created what's called the AI4Good Neural Network, and it's an AI-powered community matchmaking platform. And the way I would describe it, because now AI4Good is an all-year, always online platform with up to 5 sessions a week and hundreds of replays. So it's part Netflix in the sense that you create a profile and then we use smart suggestions to match you up with relevant content. We can't expect you to browse through 500 plus sessions, right? So in that sense, it works like Netflix. It's part dating app in the sense that when you start, you take a smart matching quiz and you'll be matched to up to 10,000 participants who have joined so far. And the way it works is, for example, I have data or I need data, there'd be a match. Or I have cloud compute power or I need cloud compute power, there'd be a match. So that's one way of scaling, potential AI4Good collaboration using AI. And last but not least, it's basically a virtual events platform where also our sponsors and partners, like yourself, could have virtual exhibits.
Yeah, I mean, I logged on and created a profile. I mean, I kind of also, it's a bit like LinkedIn as well, isn't it? A little bit. But I created a profile and we showcased the State of AI in Africa report. And actually, I started getting some inquiries. So it actually genuinely works. It's not just a COVID gimmick.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned LinkedIn because we created a LinkedIn group in 2017, 5 years ago. And it was quite good. We have about 7,000 members, and it's quite easy to join LinkedIn, right? It's just one click of a button. We launched a neural network in February, and that's actually a heavier ask. You have to create a profile, take a smart matching quiz, but we had 10,000 profiles created in less than 6 months, and it's growing at a rate of about 300 a week. So I think there's value in having that extra connection mechanism with smart suggestions and really a kind of online community platform that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great platform, and again, I'll put a link in the video below so people can find out a little bit more about it, and also the AI4Good movement. So Fred, looking into the future, you've got some interesting things lined up for next year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely, and I'm going to need your help as well. So, we're actually, as good as the all-year online platform is, we are going to have a physical summit next July 6th to the 7th in Geneva, to be specific. And, the goal of the summit is not to replicate everything we're already doing online. We've seen here at AI Africa Expo that people genuinely want to get back together face-to-face, shake hands, and the programming is almost the excuse to get people back together so they can connect with one another. So, we're very much looking forward to hosting a physical event, and also we're going to need your help to bring African content to AI4Good in Geneva. So one of our plans is to have an AI Africa pavilion, which Nick will be, I guess, managing or running, and then hopefully you can bring all the great people here to Geneva, and then we can benefit from that great content.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think pre-COVID, one of our challenges, and we talked about this, was about getting greater representation from the global south in the global north, if we can use that phrase. And our big plans for this in 2020 got put on ice because of COVID. So it's great to be thinking about that now in the run-up to July 2023. We look forward to working with you on that. But I mean, just to wrap up, Fred, what do you think the future holds for AI4Good, the SDGs? I mean, are we on track to solve some of these big intangible problems?
I think we are. I mean, one of the biggest challenges is actually measuring the progress of the SDGs. And we've seen through some of our webinars and talks that actually 30% of the SDGs can be actually mapped and measured in real time from space. So that's a huge opportunity in itself. Wow. But also I was talking to some of your delegates yesterday, and they're measuring progress to SDGs or ESG or sustainable progress in different ways, even using sort of tiny ML sensors that are deployed on the ground and really collecting data at the source. And I think that's going to be a really big opportunity, and we're launching some challenges around that. On top of that, we have, we've done some Innovation Factory as startup pitching competitions. We've done 4 together. So that's been a great way of bringing African businesses to the forefront. We have some AI data challenges that we've been launching on machine learning and 5G networks, but also more recently a Geo AI challenge. So I think all of these collaboration opportunities, whether it's building pre-standardization efforts or startup pitching competitions or actually crowdsourcing new solutions through AI challenges, are all taking steps towards the SDGs. But of course, we need this to happen at scale, and that doesn't happen overnight. But that's one of the big challenges, I think, what you're trying to solve here, and also that we are, by being more inclusive and bringing all these people together.
Well, it's great news, Fred. I mean, it's great to be back. I can't emphasize that enough. I mean, there's been a great buzz from the show today. We're going to be wrapping up later on this afternoon, and look forward to seeing you next year, Fred, and we'll put all the links below. But it's just signing off here from AITV at Expo Africa 2022.